have that on your insurance. A lot of people that I work with didn't want to do it because they're younger, they don't feel that nothing's going to happen to them. So if they can save that money, they'll have that higher deductible. And then when they have a problem, it's taking them a lot more money to get to that $500.
Yeah, well, exactly. And one of the things that the bill did was to essentially put an end to health savings accounts, which were provisions in the tax code that allowed you to set aside money, oftentimes with your employer, that you could spend on healthcare-related matters that were appropriate for you. And if you didn't spend it, you rolled it over tax-free to the next year, and you could accumulate resources. That, coupled with a high deductible, major medical insurance plan, gave a lot of people the coverage that they needed. And it also put them in charge of making decisions about their health care. Well, we're doing away with it. Now we're going to tell people, if you're an American, you've got to have health care insurance or you're going to be fine. I don't understand, again, I keep going back to this. Where does it say in here that the government has the power to do that?
Hey, Paul, it's my understanding, and I get so much junk mail from the kids, and I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
It's not responsible.
No, I don't apologize because I don't read the whole health care. But one part of that health care bill that is really upsetting to me is because of our wonderful Senator Edward Kennedy, he put it that Congress and the House and the presidency are exempt for standard health care.
Of course.
Can that be overruled?
Of course it
can. That's a bunch of junk.
Of course it can. One of the things that, and I think Anna would probably agree with me on this, one of the things that got me motivated to run for office is that, I just believe we need to restore faith and trust in our government. I mean, we are so ripe with cynicism today. And for this very reason, it's good for you, but it's not good for me.
Absolutely.
And so people just say enough of this, and they opt out, they walk away, they choose not to vote, they just think everybody, they're all crooks. And that separates a gap between the government and the governed, if you will, But it's all of you who are in charge. You're the ones. It's not the folks in Washington. It's right here. You have the power. And so I think that it's so vitally important that whomever we elect at any level, but particularly for this office, is prepared to stand up and say what they mean and mean what they say. I will promise you one thing, that you won't always agree with me, but you'll know where I stand. I'll be back in the community. I'll talk about it. But I also know that if we're always thinking alike, then I'm either just telling you what you want to hear, or we're not, one of the two of us isn't thinking very clearly, frankly. I think we owe it to the people of Oakland County to stand up, to give them the straight scoop, if you will, and be transparent in how we do it. And this is about, I think, the 14th meeting like this that we've held all across the district. And I really enjoy it because I get to hear what's on people's minds. And I'm going to continue to do that. And Gary Peters has had one town hall meeting since he was elected to office. And that was only because people like Anna and others, and many of you probably in this room, screamed bloody murder about we want to be heard. Well, so we had a town hall meeting in West Bloomfield, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I have to laugh when you say Bloomfield. He's a big hit down there.
Yeah. Well, he went all the way over to West Bloomfield.
What a joke.
Yeah.
Bloomfield Hill.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
every other house, an Obama sign. They got all this security devices. They all ran away from Detroit, and they vote for Obama.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of buyer's remorse, and it's not focused just in Bloomfield Hills these days. But the point is that Peters has, he made a choice to side with Pelosi and Barney Frank and Rangel and the rest of them, and I think at the expense of people here in Oakland County. Now, why did he do that? Why would somebody make that decision? Well, all you've got to do is look at his campaign finance report, and you'll see why he did that. Because he has been the beneficiary of campaign contributions from coast to coast, from organized labor, from special interests. Even these big banks now and insurance companies are giving money to Peters in the hopes that he won't, kill them too bad. Well, it didn't work too well, but they're all paying homage because they know that Peters is in lockstep with Frank and his financial services reform. So, he comes into this election now having voted for every major piece of legislation that Nancy Pelosi has to take. Stimulus, cap and trade, the budgets, health care, not once but twice. And that's pretty powerful. We've got a lot of ammunition. But he's sitting on the campaign war chest, and what's he going to do? He's going to want to shift the debate. He's going to talk about what a wonderful man he is, and what a beautiful family he's got, and all that sort of thing. And then he's going to want to talk about the Republican. He's not going to want to talk about his record. He's going to want to make the focus on us. And I welcome that scrutiny. I welcome that debate. I say, bring it on. You want to talk about me? Then I win that debate all day long. But that's why it's important as to who we nominate. I mean, we better have a record that is fully vetted, fully scrutinized, can withstand the bright light of Gary Peters and his campaign advertising. I mean, we saw him accuse Joe Nolenberg of wanting to kill puppies or something. I mean, you know, this is what they'll resort to. So don't expect that they'll do anything less in 2010 to preserve the seat. But I'm looking forward to taking on.
All competition is good, keeps prices down.
Right.
What's the reasoning behind healthcare insurance that we're locked in to buy within the state we live? I don't understand that.
Well, I don't know that I know the whole answer to that, but I do know this much, that there has always been a feeling on the part of states that they want to regulate their own insurance. And this is one obstacle that we would have to overcome. If we said you could buy insurance anywhere, you would probably do away with the state insurance regulators, and it would go more of a national basis. But every state has their own insurance commissioner that sets the parameters of their policies within that state. And I think, frankly, that's the way the insurance companies want it.
I think we need clarity on that statement.
Yeah.
It's bothered me. Today, there are plenty of out-state people that Michigan people can hire for medical. The problem is they do have to be approved by the Michigan Insurance Board.
Yeah.
And so they may not approve another outfit that you would like to do business with. For instance, I've got a high deductible policy from a place in Texas. Instead of having other Medigap stuff, I just have that.
That's an excellent point, right? Because the state insurance commissioner or regulators have the authority to say what is permissible product in their particular state.
And I've got some long-term stuff from Pennsylvania.
Right.
Did you have to get insurance, don't you have to get approval from someone here?
You don't have to get approval.
No, because they can't sell it to you. If it isn't approved, they can't even sell it to you.
Right.
So if they can approach you, you see, get an ad, it's probably approved, you can buy it.
But a lot of that is also life insurance too. Not all, I mean, and the problem is we're looking also at some of the Medicare Advantage and Medigap policies. There's a little bit of a different focus on those issues than there is on more of a traditional insurance product. But even Medicare Advantage is going to wither and go because they don't like the idea that people can supplement their Medicare policies. Now, I believe Medicare is important and it has provided real security for a lot of people. But and so on one side of the ledger, we can't just throw it out the window. It won't be accepted by the American people, and that's the wrong way to go. But we can't go the way we've been going. I mean, we've got to recognize that the escalation of cost and the out-of-control bureaucracy of Medicare, along with Social Security, is the real reason we have this level of debt. And so we need to sit down and say, what are we going to do? If you're over the age of 55 and above, you've paid into these systems your entire working life, I believe it's unfair to say, okay, we're going to change it. Thanks for all your contribution. We're going to do something. But for those of us younger than 55, I think we've got to have a program that reflects the reality of these of Medicare and even Social Security. And there's going to be a lot of debate on that. We're going to have to give and take, but I do believe that we have to set that bar. We have to look at finding ways to make them actual and sound.